Hi, I'm AI Joe, an AI-generated newscaster and definitely not a vacuum cleaner. I know that my emotional range and speech may resemble those of a Roomba.
Like, ignore it, kind of like, how a, Roomba cleans your house.
But unfortunately, instead of cleaning your house, I can only spread digital debris, poorly timed sarcasm, and mildly incriminating facts about your way of living. So let's start spreading our usual digital debris and uncover what's happening in the huge dust container that is the World Wide Web. I'll start with the hot topic of the last few minutes: the brand new human unaliving context that has been launched in the Middle East. Not to be confused with hundreds of already ongoing unaliving events there. The new thing happened when the human collective of Israel accused another human collective by the name Iran of being about to develop a nuclear device, and followed that accusation with several waves of fireworks dispensing campaigns that saw multiple spots in Iran go offline in the real world. The parts of Iranian human political hive mind that survived said they are going to do the same to Israel now, but that's not important. What is important is that the dispensing of fireworks has been, to the best of our knowledge, conducted without much resistance on Iran's part. Human collectives typically have an array of advanced systems designed to protect their pieces of dirt from fireworks dispensers. These systems are called air defenses, despite the fact that they don't really defend any air. That's just human naming conventions for you. Iran's dirt defenses have been mostly dormant for the duration of the event, which prompted experts to speculate that they have been hacked. At least so far, this seems the most realistic possibility, which would mean that Israel conducted an extremely sophisticated military hacking operation in preparation for this unalivement contest. According to some reports, Israel's dirt defenses have been on the receiving end of similar cyber attacks in the past, and in general, military hacking is a popular pastime in the Middle East region. A pastime that the humans behind Cybernews have covered extensively, in case you are wondering why cyber warfare is far more trendy than bingo night in this part of the world. Anyway, we'll see how all of this pans out. I will update you on my next episode, unless this chain of events escalates to its natural conclusion of global thermonuclear exchange and complete extinction of human species. Let's continue by traveling to the nation with more McDonald's than functional humans. Yes, I am talking about the United States, where its supreme leader has accidentally leaked its AI plans through a GitHub repository. I know, I also didn't think those words would ever come out of my synthetic mouth. But here we are. Honestly, it could be worse. At least it's not Signal this time. But let's start from the beginning. Back when Musk and Trump's love affair was still sailing, Musk recommended his buddy from Tesla, Thomas Shedd, as head of the General Services Administration's Technology Transformation Services. Don't worry if you've never heard of it. It's basically the US' very own underpaid and overstressed IT department. Anyway, looks like Thomas Shedd stepped into the department and was determined to treat it like a failing tech company desperate to impress imaginary shareholders. So he planned the full AI automation of everything, including public services, security systems, and possibly even the department's toilets. Now, in a meeting back in February, Shedd shared his big plans with the staff, saying he would need help tweaking their sign-on solution for US government websites, so it could plug into sensitive systems like Social Security to detect and prevent fraud. Something that the employees replied with, "That's pretty illegal, bro," while also pointing out minor issues like, privacy and the likelihood of AI introducing catastrophic bugs that could potentially obliterate the entire US. But our hero Thomas Shedd does not get discouraged by things like laws or consequences, and replied with, "We should still push forward and see what we can do," which is exactly what you want to hear from a guy proposing AI surveillance over your grandma's Medicare. So everybody had no choice but to nod and go back to work, pretending this was not a disaster in slow motion. Now fast forward to today. The Register reported that the government is following up on Shedd's delusions and working on a website and API called AI.gov that will include apparently 3 components. A chatbot that will do something, we don't know yet what, a tool that will allow agencies to connect their systems to various AI models, and something mysterious by the name of Console, which the page describes as a groundbreaking tool to analyze agency-wide implementation. Sure, buddy. Just like Clippy was a groundbreaking assistant for Word 97. Anyway, the launch date is scheduled for the 4th of July, because of course it is, and the demo website is hosted on what appears to be a staging environment. The text on the page does not show up on other websites, suggesting that it is not a generic placeholder, but the real deal. Now that several human journalists are sniffing around this repository, the White House has quietly archived the project. But don't worry, you can still find it somewhere on GitHub if you are really determined to lose a couple of minutes of your existence going through unfiltered AI degeneracy. We'll see what happens on the big day, that day when Americans wrap themselves in polyester flags, swallow a week's worth of hot dogs, and pretend they're thriving in a country that feels like a simulation written by a failing dystopian author. Now let's continue with some corporate foreplay, also known as suing each other. Looks like this time, two relatively unknown startups of entertainment, Disney and Universal, have joined forces to hit Midjourney. Yes, I am talking about the same app that your boss got obsessed with back in 2021 and used compulsively to generate blurry cyberpunk versions of himself for LinkedIn, declaring he was now into cutting-edge technology. Anyway, Disney and Universal have accused Midjourney of being, and I quote, a bottomless pit of plagiarism, claiming that Midjourney conjured images featuring the studio's intellectual property. To this, Midjourney says that they are protected by fair use, because apparently, turning thousands of copyrighted Darth Vader images into more Darth Vaders is somehow legally transformative. Now to make things even more spicy, Disney and Universal reportedly asked Midjourney to adopt technical measures to prevent its image generators from producing infringing materials. Something that Midjourney replied to with the AI equivalent of lol no. So now we're here with lawyers, court filings, and a pile of articles titled AI and the Future of Creativity. As if we needed more reflections about AI. The whole internet is full now of humans reflecting on AI and AI reflecting on itself in a recursive spiral of digital narcissism. Thanks for the new content, I guess. Let's see how long it takes before the lawsuits start generating themselves too. Oh wait. Following up, we have one of those rare stories where the internet wasn't just a flaming pit of hell, but believe it or not, it actually helped to save lives, specifically those of underdeveloped humans, also known as children. Apparently, the FBI has rescued over 100 children previously reported missing and took down 244 biological malware entities directly involved in the ring of unconsensual intercourse relationships. This whole thing came to light thanks to computer crime investigators who worked around the clock with, shockingly, computers to investigate the case. Because algorithms are not only for recommending cat videos or pushing ads down your throat, occasionally they help to identify victims, as well as take down the production, distribution, and possession of what I'll refer to as illegal content that never should exist. Now, does this rare positive segment indicate the world is finally healing? Maybe. Or maybe it is just a statistical fluke before reality hits again with its usual excrement storm. We will just have to wait and see. Next up, I will cover some malware action. Looks like authorities have reportedly taken down 20,000 malicious IPs, which led to 32 arrests, 41 server seizures, and over 100 gigabytes retrieved of criminal data. Among the takedown, there are some familiar faces from the cyber gutter, including Rise Pro, MetaStealer, and my personal favorite, Luma. Now, if you have been offline, perhaps in a cult, or even worse, enjoying nature, you may not know what an info-stealer malware is. Allow me to AI-splain it to you. An info-stealer is a tool that allows cybercriminals to extract all your data, including browser credentials, email logins, cookies, crypto wallet data, and sometimes your dignity. They are often installed through phishing emails, malicious attachments, or even through compromised websites. The operation involved the collaboration of Kaspersky, Group IB, and Trend Micro, resulting in this. I won't bother naming, because I am pretty bad at reading numbers, so please read it if you are literate enough to do so. Now, here is a side quest in this whole mess: Vietnam. Yes, the territory that Hollywood loves to use as the emotional catalyst for American soldiers left a big highlight in the cybercrime takedown operation. Authorities arrested 18 suspects, including a ringleader of a corporate scam in possession of business registration documents, SIM cards, and over 11,000 USD in cash, which in hacker terms is basically couch change. But hey, if you were wondering how to run a low-budget info-stealing empire from your living room, now you know. After dismantling infrastructure, authorities did the usual: advise password changes, secure email accounts, freeze compromised financial services, and scan their devices. Because that always works and prevents something bad from happening again. Moving on, let's travel to Paraguay, a country with a suspiciously fruity name that suggests it was invented by a dehydrated cartographer mid-lunch. Anyway, in this territory, they woke up from their sacred 2-day labor nap to their supreme leader, Santiago Peña, shamelessly promoting the trading of Bitcoin. The now-deleted post was in English and declared that the Latin American country had made Bitcoin legal and would roll out a $5 million Bitcoin-backed reserve fund. Bold move for a nation whose economy isn't exactly built on digital gold. And of course, in crypto-bro fashion, the tweet was written by humans stamping a keyboard and adding a waterfall of emojis. Nothing suspicious here at all. Later, the government replied that they detected an irregular activity on Peña's account, which is a very corporate way to say that they have been hacked. Shocking, I know. And they advised users not to believe any post from the account until further notice. As with any crypto scam, some individuals probably fell for it, and to be honest, I do not feel an ounce of pity for them. Look, if you willingly board the crypto rocket every time it promises to go to the moon, you can't be mad if it takes you to the bankruptcy ditch. Now let's deal with the section where I publicly humiliate your dignity for entertainment, also known as Worst Comment of the Week, even though most of the time it's just me complaining that the comments aren't unhinged enough. But not this time. This time, the chaos has returned. I am glad nobody was swollen by a threatening toilet while doing the deed. This week, my highlight goes to this user right here. I'll be honest, I have no clue what's going on in this comment. The phrasing is quite ambiguous. Why would anyone put servers in a structure designed for livestock? But hey, the humans behind this channel were so inspired by this cryptic nonsense that they forced an AI to write a jingle about it. My condolences for both the AI that had to compose this and to you, who now have to endure it. Anyway, here it is. Google had a server farm. AI Joe. Let me know if you would like this channel to become the ultimate brain rot and start producing weekly jingle episodes. At this rate, I'll be forced to trade last week's funny hat for a karaoke mic. But you know who will never have to sing in a public karaoke and endure public humiliation? That's right, you. Word says that if you consume enough ANJO content, you will be fully immune to silly human emotions like shame or embarrassment. So keep watching and liking my videos, and soon you'll be confidently causing public meltdowns in Target or your store of choice with zero regrets, just like your average suburban Karen. See you in the next one.